love the title that you have, Ethics and Correction to the Corruption. And most of the people that are in on passive today, the affiliates that are there, you kind of understand what that means. But I think it's really, really critical that you focus on the first one first, and that's ethics. Ethics, honest, clean, ethical. And if you don't have that, really, life just doesn't have the meaning that it should have. And when we start to talk about the affiliates and where we are and where we're going, I know it's a whirlwind right now. Mr. Mufareh came on just a couple of days ago and talked about a lot of things. And it's really, really hard to kind of know where you're going unless you can start to focus. Okay. And if you don't have the right focus, you're never going to end up in the right place. And when I start to think about focus, there are a couple of questions that I ask myself, and I'll ask you. You know, when you start to focus on things, do you focus on the things you have, or do you focus on the things you don't have? And believe me, there is a big difference. When you focus on the things you have, you come into the day with a great deal of gratitude. You really do. Because when we sit down and we start to think about what we have, we really have a lot of terrific things in our life today, all of us. And if you're focusing on the things you don't have, the things that you're missing, I can tell you flat out today, it doesn't matter what Onpassive does. It doesn't matter what they do in your life. It will never be enough, because you're always going to be wondering, well, I don't have this, or I don't have this. And there's always something you're not going to have. Believe me, I've lived a pretty long life, and there are things just didn't come into my life, but it's okay. I don't focus on that. I focus on the things that I do have. And when I do that, and here's a really, really good suggestion for everybody. Get up with the sunshine, get up with the sun. And when you get up in gratitude, and then start your day. And then you can start focusing on the things that are really important to you, your family, your community, that kind of thing. But when you start to focus on the things you have, the day is just really, really good. I heard another comment the other day, and it was really, really good. Are you focused on the end, or are you focused on the beginning, right? And when I say that, most people go, well, I'm not sure I know what that means. But I heard this analogy, and it was really, really good. You know, have you ever fallen in love, right? And I think most of us at one time or another, we have. And when you look at the beginning of that, there's just a lot of expectation. There's a lot of gratitude. You will do anything for that individual, and you'll do it gladly. In fact, you're leaping for joy when you get a request to do something for that individual. That's the beginning. But if you look at the end and they ask you the same question, your response is, why are you bothering me? That's the difference between the beginning and the end. And this is so appropriate for Onpassive. When we look at Onpassive, yeah, I've been Onpassive 5.5 years. Some have been in for 6, maybe a little longer. But for me, as I come into the day, Onpassive is always at the beginning. It really is. Yeah, I don't forget about the things that Mr. Mufareh has done up to this point. But because of the structure, because of what Mr. Mufareh is doing, because of everything that's happening with Onpassive, it's always a new beginning. And a really good example of that is what's happening today. What's happening today in an Onpassive? And I think everybody knows this. You can't get into Onpassive right now. You can't get into the OES back office. You can't get into the founder's back office. And Mr. Mufareh, now he was going to do this very orderly, but it didn't happen that way. It just went off. And I know a lot of people were just freaking out. I can't get in. Something's going wrong. Something's wrong. And Mr. Mufareh came on a couple of days ago and explained what happened. But Onpassive is down. Okay? Now, you need to live with that. But this is the beginning. This is what's really exciting about Onpassive. When that site went down, and I tried to bring it up, I didn't know what was going on But in the back of my mind, I said, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Big things are happening right now. This isn't going to be down for a couple of hours. Onpassive is going to be down for a few days, maybe 3 or 4. And when you think about that, all of a sudden you start to think about the magnitude of what Mr. Mufareh and his team is doing with the platform, the OES platform and the Founders platform. Now, you can let your imagination run wild, guys, and I recommend that you do. Honest, clean, ethical, in a very, very good way. What are they doing back there? I had a conversation with Dan Street just earlier today. I think it was today. I lose track of time, guys. And he started going over what could be going on back there. All good, all very, very good. Things with the commission structure, things with the products, things with this, things, and he was out of his mind. I just sat back and listened to him, but it was really, really fun. We don't quite know what's going on back there, although Mr. Mufareh has given us little hints. But there's some really, really cool things going in to the OES backup. And what does it mean? See, that's another thing. What does it mean? Are we getting close to the point where the apples start to flow? Everybody likes to hear about that. Are the apples going to flow? Mr. Mufareh, he told us it's not as far away as you think. And most people, when the launch didn't come when they thought it was going to come, oh, it's 6 months to a year out. It's 3 months out. It's 2 months out. It's a long way out. And when you're waiting for something, it's really, really funny. And again, this is focus. When you're waiting for something, all of a sudden a day is a month is a year is an eternity. And when we start to focus on what's going on with Onpassive, stay in the present. Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. When we come into the day, we focus on a lot of different things. We really do. We focus, our mind goes every way. But focus on the present, what's happening right now. And when you understand what Onpassive is doing, you understand that Mr. Mufareh, he's getting this done, period. And then as you start to focus, if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself. Focus will start you in that direction. If you want to change the world, you need to change yourself. And most people, when I say you need to change yourself, they don't quite know where to go. They don't quite know what to do. And it really is incremental. And I'll give you a good example of what change will do to your life if you just start incrementally. And by the way, you can start changing your life by getting up with the sun, as I said, and make your bed. That's a start. That's incremental. Instead of going through the day and going, I should have made my bed this morning, but I was just too lazy. I didn't want to make it. It's the discipline to change your life incrementally, one step at a time. And I'll give you a good example of what will happen if you do that. Okay? Today, again, I'm on with two of my favorite people, Comfort and Robin. Incremental change. If you look at what Comfort has done over the last couple of years and Robin has done over the last couple of years, guys, they didn't start here. Neither one of them started here. They started very incrementally dipping their foot in the water, seeing if it's something that they can do. And as they started to understand, not only can I do this, I can be pretty good at it. And I can tell you this, and neither one of these individuals will say this, Robin and Comfort, they are rising stars, period. That's a fact, guys. If you want to know what a rising star looks like, you need to listen to Comfort. You need to listen to Robin. You need to be wherever they're at. You need to listen to what they have to say and then take the advice, because they're giving advice to edify you. It's what they do. It's what they do every day. So all of us, every one of us, we want to be that rising star. We want to be someplace where people look up to us, where people come to us in confidence, where they come to us for wisdom and knowledge. They come to us for advice on what they should do and what they shouldn't do. This is what Onpassive is all about. What do we do in Onpassive? We change lives. but you have to start with yourself. You want to change the world, change yourself, and focus. Focus will get you so far. And when you start to focus on the right things, your life will change. I'll guarantee it. Absolutely, 100%. I've seen it over and over and over again, not only through my life, but in Onpassive. Marty is a great example of bringing people forward, edifying them, and lifting them up.